is shrill. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to all of you joining us here in the chapel and online. I'm Eric Tschuy, your worship leader today. We're especially glad to have those of you who may be with us for the first time and hope to see you again. I'd like to remind you to please silence your cell phone or other devices at this time. That includes me. So our speaker today was going to come to us in person. He was not able to, so he will join us on YouTube. And that's Reverend Tony Lorenzen. Reverend Tony Lorenzen, who grew up in a Portuguese-American Catholic family in Leominster, Massachusetts, holds degrees from Fitchburg State College and Harvard Divinity School, left the Catholic Church in 2003 and became a Unitarian Universalist minister. Was ordained in 2007 by his home congregation in Leominster, Massachusetts. He has served churches in Massachusetts, in Texas, and Connecticut, and currently serves the UU Church in Meriden, Connecticut, and the UU Congregation of Danbury, Connecticut, as half-time minister in each location. His wife is an Episcopal priest who grew up in Milwaukee, Oregon, so a local lady, and he's in the area visiting her family, well, what's going to be in the area visiting her family over the holidays. Reverend Tony is a spiritual director. He's completed his training in spiritual direction at Heart Paths, Dallas in 2012. And over the years, he's served on the board of directors of various civic groups, including the current work with the Meriden Pride Community Center and the Greater Danbury Unites for Immigrants. Also, Reverend Tony has other talents. He's a guitarist who also enjoys chess. From 2016 to 2019, served as a part of a team of 12 faith leaders that write a column in the Worcester, Mass. Telegram newspaper called Keep the Faith. Reverend Tony's a huge fan of U2, Bruce Springsteen, and the Boston sports teams. Yes. Eastrose Fellowship sits on the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook people, who were forcibly displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifices endured by the ancestors of this land, and that our presence here today is only possible because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook Nation and Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on the traditions, history, and legacy held by their ancestors from time immemorial to this day. We seek meaningful relationships with these communities that would foster repair. And now's our time to greet our neighbors. So let's take a moment and greet one another today, both in the chapel and online. So please stand up first and wave to the cameras by the clock on the back wall. Wave hello to our friends online. And then turn to your neighbor and say hello. Hi, Micah.
Do you mind giving me the rundown for
I know.
We will have more opportunities to talk, get to know one another. I understand there's coffee today in the back, so that will be there. By the way, our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or sorrow during that portion of the service coming up, you can do so by entering it in the YouTube chat, and those will be shared aloud with everyone. I also encourage you to identify yourself in the chat so we may better acknowledge your presence with us today. The call to worship is called We Practice Being Called by Samantha Lynn Wilson. A call to worship is secretly a call to focus our attention. Choosing to focus our attention is countercultural. Daily, we are called to worship at the altar of many devices, surveillance systems we let take lead over our every waking moment. We are called by headlines set purely on our activation and by tools that gamify our every human connection. We are not called, we are led. We are not led, we are entrapped. Instead, here, we practice being called. We are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called by these ancestors, this wood, the room's particular light, this chalice's particular fire, and these children. We are called to focus all our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we cannot castle nor control. In the words of the poet-farmer Wendell Berry, we are called here to do something today that does not compute. Spirit of life, call our collective attention to this precise moment, the threshold between then and now, the moment upon which we hang our honest promises like portraits, chiseled and framed by our own hands, imperfectly and together. Come, let us worship together. Micah Scothorn. Mike is also going to be our chalice lighter today. There you go. And I'll read, mindful of truth, ever exceeding our knowledge, and community, ever exceeding our practice. Reverently, we covenant together, beginning with ourselves as we are, to share the strength of integrity and the heritage of the Spirit in the unending quest for wisdom and love. That's Reverend Walter Royal Jones, Jr. Thank you, Micah. Opening words, hope comes to claim us, Hannah Roberts Wilnave. In this season of long, cold nights, hope isn't waiting for us to find it. Hope isn't sitting patiently on the sidelines. Hope seeks out the forgotten places, the longest night, the damaged temple, the overcrowded stable, and every corner where tomorrow seems impossible. Hope bursts in uninvited, without concern for carefully crafted plans. Hope shows us as a lamp that keeps burning. Hope shows up as an improbable baby. Hope shows up as the sun, returning without ever having left. Hope shows up as tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, until against all odds, we feel the future breaking on the horizon. When we are weary from battle, when empire seems inevitable, and when darkness is growing around us, hope comes to claim us, and we have the chance to say yes. The opening hymn is number 1 in the gray hymnal, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. The words will be up here on the screen. So please rise as you're willing and able. And now, we're going to have our meditation. I'm going to ask you to please sit, straighten your spine as much as you can, feet on the ground, and start breathing in 4 breaths, out 5 or 6 breaths, and relax every part of your body from your head and shoulders down your arms, chest, stomach, legs, feet. Okay, one last breath out. Okay. Our spirit song today is hymn 352 in the great hymnal, Find a Stillness. And the words will be up here on the screen. And it's from our friends and fellow Unitarians in Transylvania.
Good morning. Reading's an excerpt from A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I have always thought of Christmas time when it has come round, apart from the veneration due its sacred name and origin, if anything belonging to it can be apart from that, as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time, the only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when people seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and to think of people below them as if they were really fellow passengers to the grave and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. came without ribbons. It came without tags. Sing along if you know the words. It came without packages, boxes, and bags. There's always someone with their heart about 2 sizes too small that tries to stop Christmas from coming. And they always learn that Christmas doesn't come from a store, that it is perhaps a little bit more, quite a lot more actually. Christmas, for me, is nothing less than the story of love coming into the world in the most unexpected places, through the most unexpected people, in the most unexpected ways. Perhaps even in the guise of a baby born to a homeless couple required to register themselves with the government, who hung out with shepherds and had to end up fleeing their government as refugees. When the deportation of Jews began in France during World War II, Pastor André Trocmé of the Protestant church in the village of Le Chambon-sur-Lignon in southwest France urged his congregation to shelter any Jew who should ask for it. The stories told on museums and websites, from Yad Vashem to the museum in Chambon, and they relate the story that the village and its outlying areas were quickly filled with dozens and hundreds of Jews. Some of them found permanent shelter in the hilly region of Le Chambon, and others were given temporary asylum until they were able to escape across the border, mostly to Switzerland. Despite the danger, Jews were housed with local townspeople and farmers in public institutions and buildings, children's homes. With the help of the townspeople, some were then taken on dangerous treks to the Swiss border. The entire community banded together to rescue people. They viewed it as an obligation of their faith. According to estimates, some 5,000 Jewish people passed through Le Chambon and the surrounding villages until liberation. The people of Chambon acted on their conviction that it was their duty, their calling, to help their neighbors in need. Eventually, an arrest warrant was issued against Trocmé, and in his overflowing church, he urged the people to continue their work and stressed the importance of fulfilling the commandment to offer shelter to strangers. In February 1943, Trocmé and 2 colleagues were arrested and held for 5 weeks. While the prison camp commander tried to pressure him to sign a commitment to obey all orders, he did not give in. They eventually released him, but he was forced to go underground. But the village resistance continued. At first, this story seems to be about the pastor, André Trocmé, and how he led resistance against the Nazis. But like a lot of these stories, there's a lot more to it. First of all, there was his wife, Magda. They were a team. And when he was arrested, Magda led the people. And later, when they came to arrest him again and he had to flee, she took over the community once again. And there was help always from the assistant pastor, Edward Thies. And then a village of over 5,000 people. It really does take a village. Sometimes a handful of villages. Le Chambon was the center, but villages in the area helped too. And some 25,000 people in an entire region of the mountains of France near Switzerland worked together to bring love into the world in an unexpected place, in an unexpected way. And it took every single one of them. Had but one person turned informant, it would have all come crashing down. We like to say in our tradition that each night a child is born is a holy night. The story of Le Chambon reinforces this important point we make each year at this time. Yes, Christians celebrate Jesus' birth, and whether you think of Jesus as divine savior or human teacher or something else, Christmas is a reminder that you too are a holy child, and you may be called upon to teach the people, to lead them, perhaps even to save them, just like André Trocmé. And just like him, you will not be able to do it alone. Too often, we might fall into thinking about history in terms of a great person, whether a strong leader gets all the credit as a hero or all the blame as a villain. We learn that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the civil rights movement. We learn that Hitler killed millions of people in a genocide on top of causing a world war. But the civil rights movement would not have happened if not for millions who marched and boycotted and sat in on buses and at lunch counters and make sack lunches or gave rides to people to meetings and protests and made phone calls and put up flyers. And the Holocaust would not have happened if everyday people hadn't ignored first the absurdities and then the atrocities. In our country, we learn about World War II largely as a horrible thing that happened because of a tyrant named Hitler. But in Germany, they are taught all Germans were responsible for the Holocaust. For good or ill, nothing happens without our participation and consent. It takes a village sometimes to be a savior, like in Le Chambon. And it takes a village also on the other side to commit genocide. What if, like some people in Germany and France, the villagers of Le Chambon gave in to the Nazis? In an essay, Sean Hamilton wrote of the German-born Jewish political theorist Hannah Arendt that how she explained the German political term coordination. It was used to mean getting in line. Arendt said, the problem was not what our enemies did, but what our friends did. Our friends coordinated. They got in line. And through the years, people have asked how? How did Hitler succeed in getting so many people to behave so horribly? And Hamilton says, the new paradigm of authoritarianism was so disorienting that they simply could not see it for what it was, let alone confront it. People rejected the uglier aspects of Nazism, but gave ground in ways that ultimately made it successful. They conceded premises to faulty arguments. They rejected the facts of propaganda, but not the impressions of it, until it was too late. But not in Le Chambon. We would know nothing of Pastor André Trocmé or that village if even a handful of villagers had gotten in line. And perhaps one reason they did not get in line is because once they were the persecuted people, the people who were illegal. The Protestants of Le Chambon for centuries practiced an illegal Protestant religion in Catholic France. Many escaped to Switzerland via the same mountain paths and trails their descendants would use to smuggle out their Jewish neighbors. Le Chambon's resistance began when one Jewish woman displaced by the war knocked on André Trocmé's door, and there was room at the inn. He took her in, a simple act. He had been preparing for this his entire life. Inspired by a German pacifist in World War I, he became a pacifist. And he took the pastorate in Le Chambon because it was so out of the way, his pacifism wouldn't be noticed. And is often the case, even if you don't go to war, war comes to you. History comes to you, even when you don't want it to. André Trocmé and his congregation in their village may seem heroic, but when it gets right down to it, all they did was offer simple, genuine hospitality to other people. They were a true welcoming congregation, a congregation with all of us and know them. All they did was create some room at the inn and in their homes and barns and schools. All they did was share what little food and resources they had. A war was going on. All they did was basically what most of us have been doing this week between December 25th and January 1st. Letting people in our homes, sharing our shelter and our food. Except under the Nazis, some people were not people. In their simple acts of hospitality, the villagers of Le Chambon refused to buy into any of the Nazi ideas about who was and wasn't good enough to be considered a person, and they acted accordingly. Not only did the people of Le Chambon hide the Jews, but they refused to sign pledges of loyalty or ring church bells or do anything else the Nazis required through the puppy Vichy government in France. They lived their faith. They lived their values. They answered the call of love and took its side. They practiced the gospel of Jesus. They didn't just read about it on Sundays. When the Nazis demanded Troutdale tell them where the Jews were hidden, he said, "I do not know what a Jew is. I only know human beings." Eventually, a national Protestant church leader in France asked him to stop hiding the Jews because the Nazis were putting pressure on the denomination, and Troutdale, of course, refused outright. Love is a powerful force, not a weak one. It shines a light so powerful the darkness does not overcome it. And maybe that's why we say justice is what love looks like in action. Food and shelter are simple acts of love. But in a time of hatred and evil, they are also strong acts of justice. This strength comes from places so humble, we often don't expect it or see it coming. A single pacifist pastor, a group of simple, humble villagers, a baby born homeless, someone in a frog costume. Sometimes it's only much later that simple acts of love are noticed for the saving strength of their justice. Nobody took much notice of that homeless baby in the cave in the Christmas story until years later when his larger story was told. Le Chambon did what they had to do in the time, but many years later, they were the first entire community to be given the award Righteous Among the Nations by Yad Vashem. Sometimes it's easy to practice hospitality, to love your neighbor as yourself, when there's no penalty for doing so. But when the penalty for showing simple hospitality and kindness is imprisonment and death, it's then we find out if we truly believe in loving our neighbor as ourself. It's then we find out if love has the strength of justice. Personally, I love Christmas. I love my tree. I love carols. I love feasting. I love my manger scene. I love it when Linus tells us the angel said to the shepherds, "Run, to you is born this day." But the birth of Christ, an anointed one, I don't think it's a one-time thing. Our world needs all the saving it can get its hands on sometimes. So I think messiahs continue to come year after year, Christmas after Christmas, just day after day. People no more or less human and ordinary than me and you. I don't think they could stop us if they tried. When they knew the Nazis were coming, the villagers would send the Jewish people out in the woods to hide. And when it was clear for them to come back, they would go to the edge of the forest and sing. And when I learned this about Le Chambon, the only thing I could think of was all the little Who's down in Whoville, even with Christmas stolen, getting together in the town center and singing around their tree. Because no matter how powerful the Grinches may seem, you cannot stop Christmas from coming. And there will always be those who try. Various Nazis and Grinches and Christian nationalists and people thinking they're just making America great. And ultimately, they will always fail. You can't stop Christmas from coming because you carry within you the ability to make it happen anywhere, any time of year. All you have to do is put love into action, and it's Christmas.
Reverend Tony. Our closing hymn will be When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. It's 1008 in the Teal hymnal. Please rise as you are willing and able, body and spirit. The words will be up here. It's our offering time, and we share half of the money collected each week with a local organization doing good works in the community. Snowcap Community Charities are sharing the bounty partner from September through February. Eastrose has a long relationship with Snowcap. We are one of 25 local churches that founded Snowcap in 1967 to address the needs of East Multnomah County residents. Snowcap helps with food, clothing, personal care items, and needs for infants. We look to deepen our partnership with Snowcap over the next months. If you're attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking the donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully received. Thank you. I think George is on people's mind now. Please remain seated and sing our song of gratitude, 1010 in the teal hymnal, We Give Thanks. The words will be on the screen. Micah is going to do the chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. Loving that. So announcements. First announcement I want to make is to thank everyone who contributed. A lot of hands and hearts went into this, so thank you all for doing this. Something coming up here, perk bracelet making after the service. That's with Georgianne. She's right there. If you want to raise your hand. And what does PERC stand for?
Portland Immigration Rights Coalition.
All right, great cause. Portland Immigration Rights Coalition, thank you. And from Keene Snowcap Volunteering, you're all welcome to come and help at Snowcap second Friday from 3 to 5 on January 9th, so I guess week after next. So hope to see you there, and Keene is right here. And yeah, Jonathan, you had something.
Hey all, I had a number of personal announcements. One, if I can have somebody in the chapel after service today, I've got to get the super big ladder out and do some ladder work, and I need a spotter. Second, January 11th, the cabinets in the Thatcher room and the cupboards have gotten kind of cluttered, and they're starting to get a little filthy inside, and it's starting to get hard to find stuff. And so I I'm going to be in and pulling stuff out so I can get the drawers cleaned out, and I would appreciate some help pulling, maybe some reorganizing, getting stuff cleaned up, maybe relabeled. There's a lot of obsolete labels all over the cupboards. So that'll be January 11th after the service. Third, I had someone who was going to help me haul away the remains of the pine tree and a couple of shrubs outside. He disappeared off the face of the earth. If someone can help me get that tree debris hauled away, come see me after the service today. Four, let's see. Oh, that was the kitchen. After the Christmas Eve service and the past few potlucks, this goes with the kitchen cleanup. We have a lot of personal leftover Tupperware, glassware, plates. So if you're missing stuff out of your house, or if I've reminded you that you've left something here, please come get your personal kitchenware. 5, the basketball hoop has unfortunately been torn off of the backboard back behind the church. And this time of year, these kind of things are generally cheaper than if you're trying to buy them in the spring or summer. So I'd like some help figuring out how to replace or repair the backboard. I still have the steel hoop, so that's just a low priority project, but one that I think would be nice to have set up by spring so people can come out and play hoops again. And then 6, after the service, Reverend Tony is going to be on Zoom a little bit. I'm going to have a chat station set up on the AV computer in the back, so if anyone would like to chat with him, come on back here and I'll get it set up.
That sounds like it would be a good exchange too. Jonathan, is any of these going to be in the pedals? As a reminder?
That is a good question. I will give that to Staffy.
Thanks. Yeah, not today's stuff, but later on. Yeah, it'd be great. Okay. Unison benediction is our one that we have adopted from Thessalonians. So we're going to repeat that together. Now the service has ended. It's time for social time, coffee, and conversation in the Thatcher room. And don't forget the conversation with the Reverend. Go in peace.